One of the most difficult things about keeping fish is dealing with fish that are injured or sick and trying to nurse them back to health, find a way to rescue them. And that happened a couple months ago to one of the fish in the school aquarium that I keep. And the custodian called me and said, "This fish is in really rough shape, and I don't think it's going to make it if we don't intervene." So I brought him home, and I put him in this tank with some small Tanganyika grow outs and some blue dolphins. And you can see he was in pretty rough shape, but within a matter of just a few days, he started eating well and regrowing the damaged fins that he had. Very quickly, a light tissue developed at the tip of his tail, and he started regrowing those fins, which I was impressed at how quickly he regained his confidence in the water. I did medicate him. I put some Melafix in there, and after about a month in this tank, he was mostly recovered and ready to go in with bigger fish. So when he started chasing the little ones around, I put him in this tank with mostly females and some star sapphires, and his fins were just looking great. However, after about a week in this tank, he started getting a little feisty with all these females and started taking over the leadership role in this tank. So I've seen many people post about how 75-gallon tanks are not necessarily ideal for a group of mature cichlids, and this proved to be a very true thing here. So in this 75-gallon, he was with females and some less domineering fish, and I thought, well, why not put him in an all-male tank and see how he does? Even though it's still a 75-gallon, maybe he'll find his spot with all these males. And so I put him in this other 75-gallon, and I've got some male peacocks, eureka jigs, lemon jigs, a couple of just other males that are growing out. I've got a Benga peacock, and the king of this is a silverhead, and just a really beautiful fish. But after about probably not even a minute in this tank, he was already challenging the dominant male in this tank for leadership. And they went the rounds. They chased each other around a fair amount. And it's interesting because the male was, of course, trying to retain his role as king of this tank, plus exert his authority over the other fish as well at the same time. But the only fish that my recovering dragon's blood was interested in was the tank boss. He really just wanted to chase him around, and he did a really good job of it. So I was pretty impressed at how after less than 2 months, this male that had been beaten down to nothing was able to not only recover but become the king of whatever tank he was in. So once again, I decided this is tank number 3 now, 4 if you include the one that he came from, that he wasn't fitting in, and so I thought I'd go for my last resort. And the tank of last resort was one of my 210-gallon, mostly Malawi tanks. And the benefit to this tank is not only it's a little more concentrated, and there are a lot more fish in here, and there's a lot more territory to go around, but also there are already 7 dragon's bloods in here. And so, as you can see here, he's swimming around with the other dragon's blood and blending in, but he doesn't know which territories are off limits for him. So you'll see him swim a fair number of times innocently into the back left corner of this tank and get chased away very quickly by the boss of that corner, which happens to be a male Venustus, who is constantly breeding with his mate in this tank. And she's holding in the back of the tank, but he keeps that corner reserved for himself and for her when she's in the mood. So the injured dragon's blood continues to go back there periodically until he realizes it's just there is a fish in here who's a lot more determined than he is to hold on to territory. So he finds his companionship among a bunch of blue dolphins, which are also fairly territorial, and among the Nicaraguensis. There's a pair of Nicaraguensis that have mated but aren't currently mating in here, and also, of course, all of the other dragon's bloods. So after a fair amount of going back and forth for an hour or so, he did stop chasing other fish around and found basically a little bit of peace for himself in just existing and just being there with his equals, or those that he didn't feel like he either needed to back down from or be the lord over. So this tank is a little bit of a misfit tank in some ways anyway, given that there are some Central American cichlids that are somewhat outside of the pecking order, and there's also a Tanganyikan fish in here, a Trocheus morii, that again is a little bit of an oddball. So he has settled down, and I think over the next few days he'll still have some conflict, but I think he'll really fit in this tank eventually. He is scarred, he is a little bit physically damaged, but mentally he seems to be all there and has every bit of moxie a fish his size and breed could have. Hope you enjoyed today's video. I enjoyed making it and piecing together this last 2 months of history. If you have any comments about cichlid aggression, about suitable tank mates for your fish, by all means leave them below. I may be able to answer them or not, but I'll sure do my best. Have a great new year from Cichlid Heaven, and thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Have a wonderful day.